Good afternoon, Dr. Hira. My name is Jonathan Zhang Ming Wai, student ID 0134025. And today I'll be presenting my research proposal with the title, The Re-Examination of Influencing Factors of Youth in Choosing Agriculture Sector as a Career Prospect in a Post-Pandemic Malaysia. Now, it can be a very broad and long title, but I will explain why later on in the problem statement. Now, the agriculture sector is a very vital and essential sector in contributing to the overall GDP and sustaining food security. Malaysia's agriculture is made up of abundance of industries, but mainly these three industries. The oil palm industries, which makes up of 37.1% of the overall sector, followed by the livestock industry at 16.1%, and the fisheries industry at 11.2%. In 2020, the overall GDP contributed by the sector alone was 7.4%, and the domestic labor employed was a staggering 10.9%. Now, lately there's been a problem with the agriculture sector regarding labor. There has been a natural decline of practitioners in the field due to old age, followed by a lack of refresh of newcomers coming into the sector. Ideally, the gap would be filled with by youth, the group of youth rather. But the problem is youth are not choosing agriculture sector as a career prospect due to its 4D nature, which is difficult, demeaning, dirty, and dangerous. Regardless, there needs to be sustainable labor in the sector in order to achieve the set benefits, which is sustainable food security, a greater GDP. So there needs to be government interventions or institutions to promote the agriculture sector towards the youth. Thus, there is a need or the objective of the study is to re-examine proven influencing factors on youth in choosing agriculture sector as a career prospect in a post-pandemic Malaysia. So here are some of the main literature that I'll be using throughout this research. The researchers here have concluded that social status was in fact a influencing factor of youth going into the agriculture sector, followed by parental influence was concluded as an influencing factor or had significant relationships with students or youth in going into the agriculture sector or have an agribusiness involvement. Here we have the literature that concluded that pay factor was in fact an influencing factor in youth perception towards the agriculture sector or youth going into the agriculture sector. Now here is the conceptual framework. Here, just to get a rough idea of what's in my head or where I'm going through with, let's get started on government programs. Now, for government or any institution or practitioners to promote or attract these youth in coming into their industry, coming into their companies, they need to understand there needs to be a re-examination on these factors, these proven factors, just so that no resources are wasted, just so that they can get the youth to come into the agriculture sector to see it as a career prospect, and the overall objective can lead to the achieving of sustainable food security as well as a greater Malaysian GDP contribution. This would naturally reinforce social acceptance in the norm, easing off these influencing factors or hindering factors of youth going into the agriculture sector. So then just needs to be one re-examination and then followed by promoting by the right players, and then everything else would be automatic. Everything else would be reinforced and up and running. Now the methodology that I'm choosing to use, the type of research is the quantitative research, and the target samples I'm aiming is at 200 respondents due to my lack of leads, and the target audience are youth between 17 and 25 years of age, and the criteria could be in general, regardless of academics, background, or any geographical limitations. The questionnaire construct would have 5 sections, which is the demographics and the details of parents, which is just vital for the parental influence factor. The intention of choosing agriculture sector as a career prospect, the social status factor, the pay factor, followed by the parental influence. Now, the methods of analysis, we will be using the IBM SPSS software, and the recommended models by previous literature would be the measurement model, the structural model, followed by the bootstrapping 5000 resampling. Now, that concludes my presentation of my research proposal. Looking forward to our meeting next week. Thank you.